Okay, David Icke. So, since I have already determined that David Icke is Cosmos approved, I thought let's just go ahead and dig a little bit deeper and do a feel-good reading of David Icke. Yeah, and I love it. And what I got, so when I was just, I kind of sit with the names and the people for a couple of days, and what I've been feeling this morning, all this morning, was a sense of regalness, majesty, and kind of like this noble air. And whether I made that happen in my reading, it is certainly what came up. So I know that Tiffany Lynn, Mother Maitreya, has already done a reading on David Icke. And so I'm probably not going to say anything new. And I haven't watched it yet, but the title is something like Born to be a Disruptor. And that is absolutely what I am finding in his birth name, which is David Von Eyck. And absolutely, he was born for this. Absolutely. And I just wanted to, let's see, bring attention to a couple of things here. Um, yeah, so our our deepest karmas, what I've been noticing doing these readings, it has been so clear that the person's physical karma ends up being what they are teaching out into the world from their own shadow experience of what they're teaching, which I find really beautiful because what your suffering is, you want to help other people not suffer in the same way. And so what I found with David, well, David definitely this lifetime was a choice lifetime. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to, you're feeling this suppression, you're feeling this lack of freedom in this lifetime. What are you going to do? And so he absolutely made the spiritual choice to step on the path, to take some action. And that action, so his physical karma is that he had a really difficult time finding his inner purpose, ground, like what am I here to do? I can't find anything. Um, I don't really know his story, but I'm assuming this is partially correct. All I know is he was a soccer player, football player. I don't know which word to use. um, and then switched. I don't know what happened, but a deep sense of insecurity and the inability kind of to feel his own light, his own connection to source. So that's what he is teaching from that position of, I have self-doubt, insecurity. I don't know what my ground is, my orientation, my connection to God feels off. I feel a little weak, but I want to help others feel the opposite. Now, I know David Icke is certainly most well known for his commentaries or teachings about how, the archons are, ruling the world, reptilians, and all that sort of stuff. But his deeper message has always been discovering your own light, teaching you that you are the light, that you have God within. That has been the premise of his whole, like, deepest teachings. And I remember in 2012, do you remember? I think he just did another one recently when he would go for like 3 or 4, I don't know, 6 hours at Wimbledon. Oh my God, that was the greatest thing ever. And all he did was talk about, of course, the spells and the structures of society and how we're being programmed in the archon, but mostly it was about you got to go within and find your own light, and you're more majestic than you ever were. That is the heart of his teachings, but it comes from his own shadow of that feeling. When I look at his physical talents, he was always here on this mission, a mission for God, a mission to talk about spirituality, to talk against the patriarchal system. And he was always meant to use his voice in a big way. Yeah. And he's got a lot of 20 energy. And I know that means nothing to you, but it's all about we have to change the system, change, disrupt everything. Yeah. it's called fire in the brain, fire in the mind, where you have to just purify everything that's impure in your thinking, being stuck to the collective program, the matrix. Yeah, he was born for this. So yeah, Tiffany and I are getting the same information. Okay, let's let's move. Oh, here is like you can't make this stuff up. So his physical karma is Hebrew number 15, and that in Gene Key's terms is linked to the codon ring of the Illuminati. I mean, is that not what he's been talking about for 40 years? Yeah, so you can't make this stuff up. All right, what else did I get? Yeah, so the archetypal pattern that came to me was this of King Lear, and I don't really know. I had to look up what this archetype has to do with, and it's what I was feeling. So there was this nobleness that I was feeling, and it's King Lear, and it's like the tragic hero king, where for how many years? 30 years, people have been making fun of David Icke, thinking he's crazy. He's had to suffer from the projections of other people. Um, and that was like the beginning of his career. And then it's insanity, a suffering soul. This is the King Lear archetype, and defiance against the gods. So defiance against the rulers of this planet. So it was absolutely the perfect archetype. But still, there's that majestic, noble warrior fight within him, even though everybody thinks he's crazy. Okay, when I did my senses check in, the smell, I smelled roses, and then I got a corresponding bandsaw. I don't even know what a bandsaw is. I had to look it up. I don't know what the connections are, except I was like, okay, smell like roses. Okay, that's good. But then you come along and yeah, I think it's kind of the way he talks about stuff. Like he is like, I don't know, a blade, a never-ending blade. I don't know what to think about that. But anyway, he smells nice. The taste is bittersweet, meaning it's kind of similar to this roses. To pick a rose, you use a saw. Um, he's not soft in his delivery, right? He's going to be a little bittersweet. That's what I get. Hearing. So what I heard was like the theme of his energy, the way he articulates himself is like a Shakespearean play. Like you're like watching when he is on stage and what he talks about is like this great Shakespearean play. Yeah, oh yeah, King Lear, Shakespeare. I don't know where all this is coming from. And then to touch, when I went to touch him, ooh, it was like I like an electric shock. Like I put my hand into an electric socket. It was just like, "Arr." So I don't really know what that means, except for I would say he's highly full of light, full of energy, because what he has learned to do and what his level of consciousness and vibration has come to a point where it is like the bandsaw. It's a never-ending loop. It's that Ouroboros just working. He is full of his own energy. He is like what do you call those transformer poles out there? He's like yeah. I can't find the word, and I don't want to say the word like again. Okay. Yeah, and so when I asked for the hexagram, what is his offering to the world, and it just reflects what the birth chart name would say. He's here, he teaches people to see the spells put on them by the matrix. He points people back to their heart, their inner truth. And the result for that, for him personally, is he has become a noble-hearted human being who has found peace within himself, right? And he has released his self-doubt. So that was a beautiful way the universe kind of told me he has healed his self-doubt and yeah, which is beautiful. And I was thinking about because for me personally, I know in some other lifetimes, I know for a fact I was like working for the dark, as many of us have, and that has caused my spiritual journey this lifetime to say, oh, I regret doing that. I'm here to kind of make up for some stuff. And I wondered if that was the same for David, and I got a no. Um, let's see. No darkness, no dark forces. Is he a pure human soul? No. Is he a galactic soul? Yes. Now, I didn't go through the whole list of possible galactic lineages or heritages, but I did get that he is at least half vegan, Vega, from Vega, and half Palladian. Uh, Yes. And I did sense and feel that he had past lives as a warrior against the reptilian race. So I got a yes on that. So he's continuing something that he's done in the past. What else? I know I got something else that was quite interesting. Ah, yes, something about, I forgot. I forgot my seeing what I saw when I was checking in with my senses. I saw an upside down ash cross on his forehead. And I thought, oh, does this mean darkness or something? I had to look it up again. And no, it means that he has a sense when you wear the ash cross upside down, it's refers to Saint Peter, and it's a sense of humility. Saint Peter wanted to be crucified upside down because he didn't feel worthy. Christ was crucified on an upright cross, and so Saint Peter didn't feel worthy, so he went on the upside down cross. So it's humility. So David Icke has a lot of humility. But then I also ask, oh, was he by chance Saint Peter in another lifetime? And I did get a yes. Um, so who knows? I just thought that was interesting. I got a very strong yes. And then I was like, okay, he's been doing this for so long, talking about this for so long. And sure, the first 10 or 15 or 20 years, you could say this man is crazy and that the archonic force wouldn't bother him too much, right? Because the collective was like, oh, that David Icke and his reptilians, we don't believe him. But over time, people start believing. And I thought, okay, how has he been surviving this whole time? Like, he hasn't had, sure, he's had some attacks and things like that, but overall, he's been like, and what I got is there really there are external forces trying to manipulate him, not in a public way, but more in a personal, maybe health or financial or family kind of stuff. However, they're not bothering him. And by the way, there's no manipulations to his teaching. And I got that he is being protected, not protected, has protection, definitely has external, not non-physical protection for sure. And but mostly it is because he has his level of consciousness, which is at 700. And at that level, there's not much the archonic force can do because it is when a person finds peace in their heart, peace and stillness, which is the hexagram that I got, 52, stillness, he has reached stillness within himself. You become invisible. There's nothing that they can do. The archonic force, whatever, demons, whatever. There's nothing that they can do. So he has reached that level. He is well protected. He's certainly Cosmos approved, and he's a very noble-hearted, humble teacher that I don't think he gets enough credit. You know, he's going to be that King Lear. Everyone thinks he's crazy, but he's absolutely not. He's been a warrior, an absolute, oh, I can feel that, can feel it. A warrior for the truth this whole time. That's kind of his soul, incarnational mission in many lifetimes. So I've like, yay, yay, David Icke. I love you. Okay, all for now.